Now at 7, 4 people arrested during another protest outside a Portland ICE facility. Thomas Schultz joins us live with the latest. Plus, the latest on the search for the Washington father charged with killing his 3 young daughters, as some lawmakers call for changes to the state's Amber Alert system. And
we care for our cattle, we care for our people, we care for the land, and we're going to continue to do what's right by those 3 things.
We're going behind the scenes of Oregon's dairy industry to see how one local farm is producing milk for some of the state's largest grocery stores. The Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock and streaming us. We appreciate you. I'm China Green. Rod Hill is taking a look at your forecast and to see what we can expect.
Yeah, good morning.
Nice. My water.
There you go. Nice start to our day. Hope your day's off to a good start as well. We're dry on this Monday morning, and we will see varying bits of passing cloudiness at times across the state, but generally it'll be a partly to mostly sunny day, and that's kind of the way we are right now. Here's Salem. You can see some cloudiness, but also the sunshine coming through, 52 degrees down in Marion County. There's downtown Portland, all looking good this morning. Winds are light. We're at 54 degrees. Winds are light out in the gorge this morning as well, but those westerlies will pick up a little bit later today. Here's your day planner, or excuse me, your 7-day actually. 77 degrees today, 77 tomorrow. The next time we're looking for maybe some light moisture is Wednesday morning. And then the bigger story, and this is worth noting, if you have plans later in the week, could we actually see widespread soaking rain on Friday and Saturday? That's a possibility. I'll show you the rain projection numbers coming up a little bit later here live in the 7 o'clock hour. China?
Thank you, Rod. Time now is 7:01. Let's take a look at your traffic. Starting to see a little bit of a slowdown on the Highway 26 at the zoo heading into the city. Let's take a look at those drive times so far. Main Street to I-405 going to take you at 12 minutes, and then Patton Parkway to I-84 going to take you about 11, so smooth sailing so far this morning. And now to a traffic alert starting today through August 21st. There will be a closure of OR 47 in Columbia County for a culvert replacement at Messing Creek. Though the area doesn't get too much traffic, this closure will be going on for a very long time and has a very lengthy detour, so definitely plan ahead for that. 4 people are in custody this morning following protests last night outside the Portland ICE building. This happened around 11 o'clock when police say several people threw objects at the facility and its staff. This comes after police declared a riot on Saturday outside the ICE facility. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from downtown Portland with more on this. Thomas?
Hey, good morning, China. And 2 people are facing charges for attempted assault of a police officer. 2 others facing charges for interfering with a peace officer, along with a flurry of additional charges on top of that. Now, Sunday afternoon, demonstrators at the ICE facility circled the building, waving signs and flags. Some broke the glass of the doors before law enforcement deployed tear gas and pepper balls. For days, we've seen arrests down on the South Waterfront as demonstrators continue to protest outside the ICE facility. Portland police have reiterated they do not engage in immigration enforcement due to sanctuary laws statewide, but they are still responsible for maintaining public safety and enforcing those state laws. On Saturday, police declared a riot outside the ICE facility after a federal officer was hurt by the crowd. As that happened, agents fired tear gas, pepper balls, and less lethal rounds. We spoke to an ER nurse who was hurt during the protest.
I was out there in t-shirt and shorts and a bullhorn and nothing else, on the sidewalk, speaking up to the people that were in the building, and didn't get much out before there was a blinding flash in my left eye.
And there were injuries both from the demonstrators and police. Mayor Keith Wilson of Portland says that 2 Portland police officers were injured. They did not require additional treatment, nor did the federal officer who was also minorly injured in this incident. China?
Thomas, thank you. On Saturday, people across the country took to the streets for a No Kings demonstration, protesting the Trump administration's immigration enforcement. This video is from Seaside, just one of several protests around Oregon. Viewers from Canby also sent us photos and videos from their protest as well. And there were protests in smaller communities. Like this photo was taken in Heppner, which is a town in eastern Oregon with a population of about 1,400 people. Celine Stevens attended 2 different rallies in Portland and Vancouver to speak to protesters.
really horrible. Like, they're tearing families apart.
It's just the cruelty, the inhumanity.
No Kings rallies took place all over the country Saturday, a national day of action in response to the Trump administration's immigration policies.
Show me what democracy looks like.
And what protesters describe as recent injustices and atrocities.
And they're just like grabbing people out of their cars or out of work and just catching them off guard. And it's scary.
They're just trying to support their family and be safe, and they don't get any of the benefits of contributing to our financial and economic system.
Recent immigration arrests like what's been seen in Portland and larger raids that have led to protests in places like Los Angeles that's involved deploying the National Guard and Marines in response are top of mind for many.
ICE has always been there. That's something that community has always dealt with. It's the fact and the way they did it. It just hurts so much to see like my hometown community going through that struggle.
People are just here with their families trying to get their voices heard.
The White House justifying their decision.
He supports the First Amendment, but that is not the majority of the behavior that we have seen taking place in Los Angeles. These illegal criminals were throwing rocks at our Border Patrol and ICE agents.
Portland saw thousands come out to march with people passionately sharing their messages.
I don't think anybody in the Congress, certainly him, could pass a test that the immigrants have to take to become citizens. I don't think they know anything about the Constitution.
What I see now is people's constitutional rights being stomped on.
I am Latina, so I think it's the only thing that I could do right now is just show up.
The importance of standing together was a common theme at the rallies and an ask for everyone to be treated equally.
There weren't papers when, the pilgrims came here, so I don't know why, especially like when someone's brown, like why they have to be targeted for that.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
In Washington, police continue to hunt for the man charged with killing his 3 young daughters. Tactical teams are searching for Travis Decker near Leavenworth. Investigators say he's expected an experience in survival tactics and has lived in the woods for months at a time. Hikers and residents are asked to stay on guard. Wanted signs are posted offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says they are not giving up their search for him.
We have all of these systems in place that are designed to set up kids, and we let this family down.
This Friday, a public memorial service will be held for Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker. It's expected to begin at 7 p.m. at Rocky Reach Park in Wenatchee. In the meantime, child safety advocates and lawmakers are calling for immediate reform to Amber Alert protocols and family court practices because Travis Decker was supposed to return his daughters to their mother after a scheduled visit on May 30th. When he failed to do so, she called police, but an endangered missing person alert was issued instead of an Amber Alert. Washington State Patrol says at the time the father had court-ordered custodial rights and there was no indication that the child or children were in immediate danger. But court documents show that Deckers had previously fought over custody. The girl's mother also said Decker was homeless and had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
We have all of these systems in place that are designed to set up kids, and we let this family down.
Last session, Washington legislators came close to passing a law that would strengthen child safety protections in custody cases. Now lawmakers say that they will try again. Your time now is 7:08. We are taking a live look at the city this morning. It looks sunny and pretty and maybe some clouds out there. Let's head over to Rod Hill, who's going to take a look at our forecast now.
Yeah, hi everybody. A nice Monday coming our direction. The big headline after going 96, 94 in those 2 days last week is that we're still not tracking any return to hot weather. In fact, this is another week where we may or may not even hit 80 degrees for a high at some point. Our cameras show no marine layer. Generally, it's kind of partly cloudy to some areas, mostly sunny. Here's a partly cloudy shot from Chinook Winds Casino resort camera in Lincoln City where it's 46 degrees. Pretty clear, a little hazy though up over the Cascades. One of our Timberline cameras, of course, that's looking south at Jefferson there in the middle of your screen. 48 degrees. No, the new snow, I need to correct that. There's no new snow up there. 48 degrees in Battleground, 51 in Tigard, 49 in Sherwood. Timberline, by the way, for their resort operations, still reporting something like 36 inches of snow on the ground, if you're wondering, where they maintain their resort operations. 48 in Albany, 50 in Aurora. It's 47 degrees in Almsville. Weather map for today, all dry except for the chance of a few scattered showers and maybe a spotty storm out across eastern Oregon, then over into Idaho later today. Most of you will probably stay dry. This shows Pendleton warming at 86. Nearing 80 from the Dalles down into Bend, Sun River 74. We'll be in the 70s up and down I-5. The coast today, partly to mostly sunny at times, and temperatures generally about 60 or 62 for a high. Here's the 7-day. I mentioned no heat, really comfortable. 77 today and tomorrow. Wednesday morning, cloud cover, maybe some traces of moisture with that. Then we clear out. Juneteenth on Thursday, 72. Nice day, clouds to sun. And then I've got showers, but maybe I should have put in rain at times on Friday and Saturday. That is a system potentially that will bring 2 days of widespread needed soaking rainfall across much of the Northwest. Again, that's Friday and Saturday, China.
Thank you, Rod. Your time now is 7:11 on your Monday. Starting to see a little slowing at Highway 26 at the zoo. It's pretty regular about this time, but we'll keep you posted if anything changes. Still to come on Sunrise, a look into Oregon's dairy industry, how one local farm is producing milk for some of the state's largest grocery stores. Plus, a closer look at advancements in gene therapy research that could better treat some of the toughest health challenges. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
Your time now is 7:13. We wanted to let you know that KGW is teaming up with Safeway and Albertsons again this year to bag summer hunger. When schools close for the summer, students lose access to those daily meals, and that puts some local kids at risk of food insecurity. So you can make a difference by donating cash or purchasing a pre-filled bag of groceries at Safeway and Albertsons stores. All donations go directly to families in need. And to learn more, check out bagsummerhunger.com or kgw.com. In this month's installment of our Fresh from Oregon series, Christine Pitawanich is taking us up to a farm in St. Paul to better understand Oregon's dairy industry. Check it out.
Hey, girls. They are inquisitive.
Here at Hazenberg Farm in St. Paul, if there's anything Brandon Hazenberg knows inside and out, it's dairy farming.
My grandfather started our farm right here on site with about 20 head of cattle back in 1965, and I'm a third-generation dairy farmer.
Hazenberg says what started small is now one of Oregon's top 5 largest dairy farms.
We do produce our milk for Safeway and Albertsons under the Lucerne brand label. Also have an important partnership with Starbucks.
Emily Fuller with the Oregon Dairy Council says dairy is the state's 4th top producing commodity.
In Oregon, we have about 140 grade A dairies.
Oregon dairies bring in about $725 million into the state every single year, and that equates to more than 300 million gallons of milk.
Cattle are the number one priority here, because if you don't have a happy, healthy cow, you can't make a delicious, nutritious product. We got our fans running in the background. We're making sure we've got misters, cooling, access to water, access to feed, comfortable beds.
Hazenberg says he's got veterinarians and nutritionists on staff, and a big priority, sustainability.
Water on the dairy here is recycled at least 5 times, and it goes all the way down to shavings from sawmills that we bring in that we blend for bedding.
And he says his farm uses about 5 million tons of waste byproducts every year from processing plants within 30 miles of the farm, all to feed these cows.
Cows are amazing animals. They have the ability in their 4-chambered stomachs to take undigestible fibers from processing plants, from potatoes, yeast, brewer's malt.
Hazenberg says there is robust oversight in the state, and for farmers,
She just wants her food.
there's pride in the work they do.
We care for our cattle, we care for our people, we care for the land, and we're going to continue to do what's right by those 3 things. We're very proud to produce our milk here in Oregon, in the Portland area, and hope to continue to do so for the next 30 to 50, 60 years.
In St. Paul, Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
I know one thing, I want one of those 4-chamber stomachs. I did not realize that about cows. Great story there, Christine. Good morning on this Monday. Thanks for joining us live on our streaming app this morning. We have a good Monday forecast for you. Right now we are mainly all dry. Radar's picking up a few specks in green, probably nothing reaching the ground, but maybe some water droplets being detected in the clouds out east. There is a chance of scattered showers and maybe a storm out this direction later today, but we'll be all dry at the coast, all dry here in the valley and over the Cascades. Here's our Chehalem tasting room camera out in Sherwood. Pretty morning there, a little hazy, kind of mostly sunny though. You can see Mount Hood and of course the sunlight over the vineyard there. Really, really pretty. 52 is the temperature. It's also some sunshine this morning up in Kelso where it's 52. The Dow's at 61. Winds are light in the gorge this morning. 54 out in John Day and Baker City. Again, no problems anywhere. It's partly to mostly sunny if you're driving up to Seattle this morning. 53 is their temperature. Here's a futurecast during the day. It does pick up some cloudiness at times across our state, but generally everybody's at least partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Here's that chance of some scattered showers. There's even a spotty storm out nearing the Idaho border. That's later today at 4 o'clock, but you can see a good bit of sunshine here on the west side. And that continues tomorrow, generally speaking. Okay, we have a bona fide soaking rain chance setting up that's been showing up on the models for quite some time. Now, the first stop, this is our rain potential map. This is Wednesday morning. There's a surge of some low marine clouds coming in Tuesday overnight and Wednesday morning. Pretty good likelihood there will be some light moisture at the coast. We may or may not see some moisture or manageable rain here on the west side. The main reason I'm showing you this map is what comes in on Friday and Saturday. Again, this is an upper level low that right now looks like it will come inland with a little bit of girth to it, and that would give us a couple of days, Friday and Saturday, of occasional rain, widespread rain totals across a good chunk of Oregon and Washington. And if you look at the range the models are picking up on here, it's generally a couple tenths of an inch to maybe over a half of an inch of rain. So many of these big lows have come toward the coast this spring but never pushed inland, and we've lost out. But this one looks like it will push inland. So fingers crossed that continues to be the forecast, because as you know, we could use the soaking rain. It was a dry May. It's been a dry June as well. Salem 76 today, though. For today, we'll just enjoy the pleasant conditions, mostly sunny skies. Northwest winds 5 to 15, 74 in Battleground and Longview. The light winds in the gorge this morning, you folks will see the gusty west winds pick up this afternoon to about 30. But here in the valley, we'll stay pretty quiet. 77 today and tomorrow. That trace of some rain around perhaps Wednesday morning, but then we clear out. We have a nice Thursday, and then showers or rain at times on Friday and Saturday, with temperatures being held down into the 60s. And that is your forecast.
Thank you, Rod. Your time now is 7:19. Taking a look at your drive times this morning. 2 things worth mentioning. 17 minutes. Brookwood Parkway to I-405 and 22 minutes from Troutdale to I-05. All right, so to come on Sunrise, a suspect accused of assassinating a Minnesota lawmaker captured overnight. We'll bring you the latest in your national headlines coming up in just 2 minutes. Stay with us. Sunrise streaming at 7 continues after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We do want to tell you about some breaking news that we're covering this morning.
Police are asking some people to stay inside their homes.
For the past few hours, we've watched officers coming and going.
Flames blowing in this wind that's been gusting all morning long.
There are level 3 go now evacuation orders in place.
New information that we just got from Portland police.
There is no danger to the public. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage right here on KGW Plus.
Now to look at your morning rush. The suspect in the shooting of a Minnesota lawmaker has been captured. Vance Bolter is accused of shooting and killing a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband, as well as the wounding of another lawmaker and his wife. A photo released by the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office shows the moment the 57-year-old Bolter was taken into custody. He's scheduled to appear in court later this afternoon. Both Israel and Iran have begun a new round of attacks against each other this morning. Iranian state media reports at least 224 people have died since Israel began striking the country on Friday. Israel says at least 24 people have died from Iran's attacks. And the G7 summit is underway in Canada this week, and tariffs are top of mind for world leaders. On Sunday, President Donald Trump told reporters that there might be some trade deals in the works. The president is expected to have at least 3 bilateral meetings with other world leaders starting today. And Southwest Airlines is adding new cockpit alert system to help pilots avoid dangerous situations following a series of close calls in recent years. The Wall Street Journal reporting the system delivers verbal warnings and text alarms if a pilot is about to use the wrong runway or take off from or land on a taxiway. Southwest says that the system has been added to nearly all of its 800 aircrafts, and that's your morning rush. In your health news this morning, takes us up to Seattle as researchers are looking at how gene therapy could change the way certain blood cell conditions like sickle cell and leukemia are treated. Christine Pei with our sister station in Seattle has a story.
This is the lab where researchers say the magic happens. You'll see the usual flasks and pipettes, no big deal. But the work being done here is far from ordinary.
That gets me up every morning, to be honest, to be able to think about how can we really manufacture these treatments to help patients, whether it's genetic diseases or cancer.
Dr. Hans-Peter Kiem is Deputy Director of the Translational Science and Therapeutics Division at Fred Hutch. His specialty is gene therapy and stem cell engineering, specifically for blood cell conditions like sickle cell disease and leukemia.
Gene therapy is to simply correct a defective gene.
His team's work harnesses existing breakthroughs like CRISPR, the gene editing technology that allows scientists to modify DNA at the molecular level. It can be used to correct genetic mutations that cause certain diseases, in this instance, defects in blood stem cells.
Imagine there's letters in the genetic code, just like an alphabet. And we can now, if there's one letter is wrong, we can fix that letter.
While gene editing has been around for years now, Kiem's work at Fred Hutch follows a specific approach.
Very often gene therapies are being done where we collect the cells, bring them to a facility, and then a very sophisticated procedure needs to be done to modify these cells, again in a specialized laboratory, and then re-infuse the cells into the patient.
But Dr. Kiem's method found a way to simplify the process.
Now, we simply infuse that medicine.
Here's how. His team found a way to package virus-like particles that deliver the DNA fixers to defective cells, ultimately correcting the disease. While the findings are still undergoing clinical trials, it could be a game changer in gene therapy, making it more efficient and accessible.
Can we call it a cure?
It is a cure.
Moments like these make Keem remember the reason why he came to Fred Hutch in the first place decades ago.
And I came here because of Don Thomas. And what we called the bone marrow transplantation back then really started everything.
This lab is in the Thomas building, the namesake for Dr. Donald Thomas, a Nobel Prize laureate whose groundbreaking work in bone marrow transplants set the tone for innovation at Fred Hutch, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Dr. Keem's findings are setting a new foundation in gene therapy.
I suspect in the next really 5 years there will be a lot of these treatments.
Animals rescued from the flames, the Rowena wildfire. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll have the latest on the containment efforts. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We do want to tell you about some breaking news that we're covering this morning.
Police are asking some people to stay inside their homes.
For the past few hours, we've watched officers coming and going.
Flames blowing in this wind that's been gusting all morning long.
There are level 3 go now evacuation orders in place.
New information that we just got from Portland police.
There is no danger to the public. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage right here on KGW Plus.
On a Monday morning, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. We have a nice day coming up. We are completely dry out there this morning. Generally, it's going to be a day really statewide where it's anything from partly to mostly sunny. The exception, there is the threat out east today of some scattered showers and maybe even a spotty thunderstorm popping this afternoon. But here on the west side, all dry. There's a look at our state capitol live down in Salem this morning. You folks starting your day with calm winds and 52 degrees. Similar setting over downtown Portland, 54 with light northwest winds at 3 miles per hour. The forecast map this afternoon showing you highs at our temperatures, I should say, at 5 p.m. does show that spotty storm chance out east. About 80 in Madras. The Dalles has light winds this morning, including Rowena, where that fire is still burning, but northwest gust to 30 expected later today. We'll keep in the 70s for comfortable weather up and down I-5 and about 62 for an average high at the coast. Here's the 7-day. We'll go 77 today and tomorrow. Push of low clouds could bring some traces or a little bit of light rain Wednesday morning, and then we clear out. Friday and Saturday, could we actually have 2 fairly wet days?
Good morning. Your time is 7:30 on your Monday. We're taking a live look from our Chehalem tasting room sky cam. It looks absolutely picturesque out there. You got the sun beaming in with those little dots and stuff. The whole thing looks like a painting. But no, that's live. It's just local. It's where you live.
Is it? Nothing's moving. You're sure it's live?
I'm sure it's live.
Okay, playing devil's advocate here.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us in the 7:30 half hour of streaming. It's just us two holding down the fort.
Yes.
Drew Carney will be back tomorrow. Somebody posted on
Drew Carney fans.
No, somebody posted on our YouTube page something about like they heard of his death and we're taking it awfully well and RIP'd it. The man's taking some PTO. He'll be back tomorrow. Don't you worry about it.
If Drew would have died, he would have called me for sure.
I don't think that's how that works, but okay.
We're confident Mr. Carney's doing great, and will rejoin us tomorrow. Yeah, here's a look at our Snookwoods Casino Resort camera. Got some folks out enjoying a stroll on the beach there. A little hazy, but there's no marine push this morning. Other cameras are quite a bit brighter up and down the coast, and generally a partly cloudy day is coming for you. You're at 47 right now. Here's the sunny blue over downtown. 54 degrees, light winds. Yesterday it was 77. Hope you had a good Father's Day. I think we'll be right back up to 77 today. I've got partly to mostly sunny, light northwest winds, 65 at noon, 77 at 5 o'clock. And again, summer starts Friday, so this week and next week, the 2 longest weeks of the year in terms of daylight hours. 5:21 it came up this morning, sunset tonight, 9:02, China.
9:02. All right, and 7:31 is your time. No major freeway delays happening right now. This is a live look from I-84 East at 53rd. Not much of a slowdown there, but if you drive that often, usually that's kind of what it looks like, but we'll keep you updated if anything changes. We do have a traffic alert, though. Starting today through August 21st, there will be a closure of OR 47 in Columbia County for culvert replacement at Messing Creek. Now, this area doesn't get too much traffic, but this closure will be going on for a very long time. It has a very lengthy detour, so definitely plan ahead on that. All right, overnight, Portland police arrested 4 more people outside the ICE building on the south waterfront, bringing the total to 7 over the weekend. The latest are facing charges including attempted assault of a police officer, resisting arrest, criminal mischief, and interfering with a peace officer. Portland police say the situation outside the ICE facility was calm until about 11 last night, when police say they saw people throwing objects at the ICE facility and personnel. Again, this adds to the 3 people police arrested on Saturday night after police declared a riot outside the ICE facility, which happened shortly after a federal officer was hurt by the crowd. Agents fired tear gas, pepper balls, and non-lethal rounds. In a statement on Sunday, Mayor Wilson said Portland does not require the intervention of the National Guard. And this morning, we're hearing from the daughter of a man detained by ICE in Newburgh, now being held in Tacoma. She says that what happened to her father is unjust. Celine Stevens has a story.
He was in chains at his feet. Shoelaces were taken off. His belt was off. He didn't have his ring. He didn't have his watch. Everything was taken from him.
Alondra Sotelo Garcia is describing the first time she saw her father, Moises Sotelo Casas, after he had been detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Newburgh. She says the topic of immigration and customs enforcement and what to do if detained had become a common topic in their household.
The day before, we were actually talking about phone numbers and do you know my phone number just in case of any emergency? It was like unbelievable timing that we did that the night before. And
this is the area where Sotelo Garcia says her father was taken by ICE early Thursday morning while on his way to work. She says a neighbor spotted his truck and called her mom. When she checked his location on her phone, it showed he was at the Portland ICE facility.
I was crying, I was a mess.
By Friday, Moises, who owns a vineyard servicing business and had been in the U.S. since the 90s, was moved to the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma. Alondra says her dad was starting the legal process of gaining citizenship under the Biden administration, but then things changed under the current administration.
Sometimes laws don't play in your favor, when you're trying to do it. Sometimes money is a big factor. Sometimes money and laws at the same time are just not cooperating at that time.
She says her father is remaining positive despite what he says is going on in the facility.
He says if you follow the rule book, You will for sure have a meal that day, but if you break the rules in any way, shape, or form, you will not eat that day.
He was detained outside St. Michael's Episcopal Church, a place normally packed on Sundays.
Normally we would have 40 to 50 people in church on a Sunday for our Spanish service, and today we had 12 and no children. People are afraid. They're afraid to, be caught out away from their homes.
While Alondra says she understands detaining those who have committed crimes, she says that's not her father, and this was unjustified.
If this is somebody, an immigrant that has done no wrong, that they're, if anything, a support and a pillar in the community, there's no reason to be doing this kind of thing.
Celine Stevens, KGW News.
On Saturday, protesters across the country gathered at No Kings demonstrations to protest the Trump administration's immigration policies. This was a scene in Portland. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson said an estimated 50,000 people marched in Portland. Drone video here shows protesters marching from Nato Parkway over two of the city's bridges and then back to the waterfront. Meantime, people at a local assisted living home wanted to make their voices and frustration heard as well on Saturday. The folks at Cedar Sinai Park held a demonstration there as well. Meantime,
we were always active, but who knew that this would happen? Here we are, we're at a different time, but our people are very concerned, and this is something we can do.
And that woman you just heard from also encouraged people to get involved in future demonstrations. Meantime, in Washington, police estimated 70,000 people marched to the Seattle Center, with the crowd stretching for more than a mile downtown. Police say the event was peaceful and no one damaged property. Back in Portland, one person is dead following a house fire in southeast Portland. It happened just after 4:15 Saturday afternoon near Southeast Long Street and 11th in the Powellhurst Gilbert neighborhood. Firefighters found the victim, a 74-year-old, inside the home. They were taken out of the home but died at the scene. Crews are investigating what caused the fire. And a scene you don't see every day at Sauvie Island. Several hay bales caught fire in the back of a truck. Bales were spread over about a half-mile area, which also caused a grass fire. Now, fortunately, crews were able to put the fire out. No one was hurt. On Saturday, Tigard held its 4th annual Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration at Cook Family Park. It started with a 1-mile walk around the park, followed by food, live music and entertainment, plus family-friendly games and activities. The MC of the event told us that she was happy to see people come out. And Juneteenth commemorates the end of slavery in the United States, when enslaved African Americans living in Texas were freed more than 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. The Veterans Memorial Coliseum was packed on Sunday with folks celebrating the Black Rodeo. Modern-day cowboys and cowgirls came out to ride horses, bulls, and for kids, sheep riding. Top prizes, $60,000. So we talked to two attendees who had never been to the rodeo before.
It seems like it's a special rodeo because it is black cowboys, and I've never seen something like this before. So that's why I'm here.
Incredible, electric. I had never been to the rodeo except for 2 years ago, and now when this is coming, I can't miss it. I gotta be here for the 8-second rodeo, most definitely.
The aim of the 8-second rodeo is to elevate the culture of black rodeo and encourage young people to continue its legacy. Headed over to Rod Hill. How long do you think you could stay on a bull?
I mean, like a rodeo bull?
Could you get onto the bull?
1 second.
1 second. That's ambitious.
But 3 seconds on a goat.
Fair.
For what that's worth.
Okay. Okay. Good for you, man.
Thank you very much. I like that one lady's comment. It's basically said, I never seen a cowboy before. All right, here's a look at our Timberline Lodge camera. We have a beautiful day up there. And it's about the same temp as we have down low. This is 6,000 feet, 49 degrees. Northwest winds are fairly light across the region. Up in the West Hills, speaking of goats, we had them out earlier this morning, but don't see them right now. It'll be a comfortable day to be out recreating or working. Again, highs will be in the 70s. Right now, 56 degrees. Winds are calm. Here are the other. There it goes. Temperatures for you. 50 out in Hillsboro. Good morning. 57 out in Gresham. Again, the winds are light this morning. It's 48 up the hill in Sandy. It's 52 down in Wilsonville this morning. These are numbers we've just been hitting day after day lately, right? 53 is the temperature in Canby. Gio is our KGW Dog of the Day. Very thoughtful look there. Use that email, dogoftheday@kgw.com. Email us your dog's photo, their name, and your dog will become our Dog of the Day. Easier than ever. Okay, forecast map. On the east side, we are featuring the chance for some scattered showers and maybe a spotty thunderstorm later today. I don't think this is a lot of activity, and most of you probably stay dry. 70s to 86 up in Pendleton today. That's the warm spot on the map. Madras 80. Again, we'll hold in the 70s up and down I-5. And with partly cloudy skies, average temperature at the coast today about 62 for a high. Your winds will be fairly light as well. So again, no hot weather. Remember last week we went 96, 94, first and only 90-degree days of the year so far. 77 today and tomorrow. Could wake up Wednesday morning to solid clouds producing a little bit of light moisture, but then that is expected to clear out. Juneteenth, if you have plans, clouds to sun, 72. That's Thursday, of course. And then Friday and Saturday, an upper level low that right now, and this has looked this way for quite a while, shows a good promise of soaking rainfall, kind of occasional rain over 2 days. Which we could really use. Summer does begin on Friday. I've got a shower chance, maybe or maybe not, lasting into Sunday. And that is your update.
Rod, thank you. Hey, your time now is 7:40. We have a traffic alert for you this morning. This is Highway 26 at Washington Park. There seems to be a semi stop there on the right of the shoulders. You can see there's some crews out there trying to, get that under control. That lane is closed. The westbound lane, westbound is what is having the problem here. So definitely plan for that because traffic is being directed around it. So it might take you longer to get to your destination. We'll keep you updated on that. All right, and this is a live look at your drive times. Main Street to I-405, 18 minutes in there in red. So also keep that in mind when you head out this morning.
There was times when we had to just stop the engine in the middle of the road and wait for some of that smoke to clear. I mean, you couldn't see the paint on the road in front of you.
A firefighter apprentice pulled to help put out the Rowena fire before he was even done with training. We'll hear about his experience plus the latest on containment efforts. Sunrise streaming at 7 continues right after this.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The time now is 7:43. Work continues on the Rowena fire burning near the Dalles. Fire officials have reduced the total size of the wildfire to more than 3,600 acres, down from 3,800. As of last update at 10 p.m. yesterday, the fire is now 24% contained. Level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation orders are still in place, and the Red Cross shelter at the Dalles Middle School on East 12th Street remains open this morning. Livestock can be taken to the Wasco County Fairgrounds. And the Wasco County Sheriff's Office is warning people about GoFundMe scams from people claiming to have lost their homes in the Rowena fire. They are advising people who want to donate to take extra precaution and always verify the organizer's identity. They also say check to make sure that their story is accurate. In a statement on Facebook, they say, quote, "It's unfortunate that people take advantage of a disaster that people gain when people in our community are suffering." GoFundMe says that they have a dedicated crisis response team that is currently monitoring the platform and reviewing fundraisers. Meantime, for one firefighter apprentice, the Rowena fire is a new experience. He was sent out to the Dalles just one day before graduating from the academy. Libby Dowsett brings us his story.
When the fire broke out, we had been talking to our supervisor, like, can we go? Can we go? Can we go help?
The supervisor told Kyle DePriest and 4 other Mid-Columbia fire recruits, no way, not as an apprentice.
And then 20 minutes later, it was like, all right, get on the truck and go.
The situation had turned dire. The Rowena fire was spreading fast and engulfing homes.
You know, there was a lot of adrenaline. There was times when we had to just stop the engine in the middle of the road and wait for some of that smoke to clear. I mean, you couldn't see the paint on the road in front of you. It seemed like it was just everywhere.
DePriest and the recruits protecting 2 homes while warning residents to leave.
They're the type that, you know, they're going to grab a shovel and a rake and they're going to do what they can to protect their homes.
The recruits scrambling to protect the Columbia Gorge Discovery Center.
And it caught on fire several times, but we were right there able to get water to the fire. And you would turn your head and see, you know, 20, 25-foot flames in one patch of sagebrush. And by the time you ran over to get it sprayed out, you'd turn back and see, you know, another patch of sage.
DePriest quickly adjusting to his new role as a structural firefighter by relying on past experience as a wildland firefighter.
With fire jumping over every road in the area, it was really hard to kind of narrow down, you know, where is the main fire pushing and, you know, where is a safe place to engage.
The 5 recruits helping battle the flames all night, just hours before their firefighter graduation the next day.
I don't think there was a lot of wide-eyed, you know, what do we do? What do we do? It was more like, all right, we're going to get a task and we're going to go do it to the best of our abilities.
Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
And crews made some unexpected rescues while working on the Rowena fire. In the 2 separate incidents, they rescued orphaned deer from the flames. Oh, the baby. Look at it. Oh,
I knew that was coming.
That's adorable. Well, so one wandered off after it was cleaned with some water. The other was taken to a local animal hospital that's expected to make a full recovery. Oh, the poor baby.
Do you need me to take over?
I got this. My producers know anything that you put in with like anything young, done. Meantime, Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz and photographer Eric Patterson, they rescued a kitten that was badly burned while they were out reporting on the fire. Take a look.
So myself and Eric Patterson, our photographer here, were just in Rowena. We were going door knocking as we were trying to find people to talk about just the devastation that we're seeing and coming across here. While we were doing so, we came across a house with a lot of cats, including a kitten here who is really suffering from all sorts of different issues and challenges. He's got burn marks on his face, and at this point we decided it was the best case scenario to take him to the vet here. And so as we are covering the wildfire, we are also obviously monitoring a lot of what's going on in the devastation and just the damage and harm that we're seeing not only to families and their homes, but also their animals as well. So please, if you do have any animals, make sure that they are in good condition, make sure they are okay, because this is a fire that burns so thoroughly and so quickly that there's a lot of animals left stranded as well. So we just got out of the vet with that little kitten, and they tell us that he's a boy. He's about 8 to 10 weeks old. And when we were taking him in, it was really clear his face was very burnt. His nose had scarring. His cheeks did too. The vet tells us that so did his paws. Those are going to scar over as well. And they say that his coat may have been scarred in this fire as well. But because he's so young, it's kind of hard to tell at this point. Fortunately, they do tell us that he is going to be okay. And they've decided on a name. Rowena in the Dalles. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Thomas said that he's going to try to adopt them, and I've already given him a nickname. Rowena is going to be called Little Row because it's adorable. And we did say that if he does adopt, I haven't talked to my managers about this, but we're going to do it. If he adopts Thomas, that little cute thing, we're going to bring it in the studio, and Little Row is going to walk on the desk so you can see him at home. So full circle moment. I'm hoping to get together happening here.
I don't want to be the one heartless person left. So if all that happens, I will adopt Thomas. And then it goes full circle.
Who's going to adopt you?
It would take an army. Here's a look at our sky camera from the Oregon Veteran Zone camera out in the Dalles. Well, that's pretty. And, you know, we look down here, right? Nothing's moving. So being treated to some light winds. The smoke from the Rowena fire is really laid down. In fact, there it is, and you barely can detect anything. So that's good news. The crews out there are saying in their discussion they expect that fire to burn as late as about the 15th or so of July, which means through that period, it's not expected to get really any bigger, but there will still be hot spots that need to be monitored and mopped up, and still an ongoing concern for embers that could lead to new ignitions, and that's why there are still, in part, evacuation orders in place for that area. But overall, the news on the fire is pretty good. It seems like hopefully it's about as big as it's going to get, and it's not going to be spreading any additional acreage. 61 is the number from the Oregon Veteran Zone camera out in the Dalles. Winds are light this morning for the most part. This is showing at the airport the winds are starting to pick up a little bit to 21. They are expected to see some gusts this afternoon out in the East Gorge, bouncing back up to 30 plus. This shows a 35 mile per hour west-northwest gust at 4 p.m. this afternoon. So keep an eye on that. The one good thing that's really aided crews is that the wind direction from the onset of that fire, which is coming up on a week ago, has been consistently west-northwest. Here's a look at what's not going on. We're nice and quiet. Some varying passing cloudiness at times today, kind of partly to mostly sunny statewide. There is an exception. There could be some spotty showers and storms out across far eastern Oregon. What I'm showing you here is the fact that we get a push of low clouds coming in tomorrow overnight into Wednesday morning. Pretty good bet those clouds will deposit some light moisture along the coast. We may or may not see some light moisture here in the valley. But there is an upper level low that's expected to hold together and actually push inland over Oregon and Washington on Friday and Saturday. And if that stays the course, we would in fact see a couple days of decent soaking rainfall. Weather models, we often tell you, are overdone this far out, but this does, like here on the west side, anything from about 0.2 of an inch to over 1/2 of an inch of rain on average, and some decent rain amounts in central Oregon and out east. So fingers crossed we could use that. That is Friday, Saturday for your outdoor planning this week. Right now we're all dry here on the west side. There's the partly to, this is the way it will look much of the day, by the way, kind of partly to mostly sunny, right? There's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club camera out in Aloha. 54 is your temperature. Downtown Portland, a similar scene and the exact same number at 54. Kelso, partly to mostly sunny, 52 this morning. Same thing down in Salem. 63 now in Bend is in the 7 o'clock hour. Temps are now starting to warm up. Wide look at Futurecast doesn't show much, but it does show this afternoon around 4 o'clock there's a spotty storm potentially nearing the Idaho border. Coast numbers today on average up to about 60 or 62 for a high, all dry, partly cloudy. Here's the valley forecast. Salem 76 degrees today, mostly sunny skies. Portland 77, would equal yesterday, by the way, similar to tomorrow. That chance of some light moisture Wednesday morning. A dry Juneteenth on Thursday, and then the rain or times are likely showers for a couple of days on Friday and Saturday. And that is your forecast. It is birthday time. All right, we start with the best floaty ever. It's a floating hot dog. Carter has it, having a great time out there at the pool, turning 7 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Owen, big Michael Jordan fan, why not? 10. Happy birthday to you today. Clara in Salem is 19. Happy birthday. Hope you have a fun day with your friends and family. Vanessa, same to you. 35 years old today down in Woodburn. And also celebrating, Adrian is 51 out there enjoying the waterfalls, it looks like. And also having a birthday today is Joe, also a waterfall pick, 64 today. Happy birthday to you. And that's our list. Send us your photos too. Birthdays at KGW.com and we will celebrate with you.
Your time now is 7:53. We do have a traffic alert for you this morning. This is Highway 26 at Washington Park headed westbound. There seems to be a semi there that's stopped on the right shoulder, so traffic is being directed around it, which is causing some slowing. And taking a look now at your drive times, Patton Parkway to I-84 seems fine at 12 minutes, but Main Street to I-405, it's going to take you 18 minutes, so definitely plan ahead if you are about to head out of the house. We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Police are asking some people to stay inside their homes.
We've watched officers coming and going.
Flames blowing in this wind.
There is no danger to the public. We'll keep you updated.
Stream extended coverage right here on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
And you're looking at that big fancy 7-day forecast. We have a nice day today and tomorrow, both days up to about 77, very comfortable. Could be some light moisture with a thicker low cloud deck Wednesday morning. And the big story is the potential for some actual soaking rainfall at times Friday and Saturday, and then we may or may not see a lingering shower chance into Sunday, and that's your forecast.
And let's take a look at your drive times right now at 7:56 on your Monday. The drives seem to be pretty good, 22, 26, 27 minutes. All right, Friday is the official start of summer. We've been hearing it all morning. That means Oregon Zoo Nights also back starting Friday, June 20th through August 22nd. Guests will be able to enjoy live music, grab a bite from food carts, and get to see some of the animals that are active in the evening. Activities start at 5 p.m. and this summer the band Hit Machine is kicking off the celebration. So check out OregonZoo.org/nights for tickets and performance schedules. I love summer. I love summer. My favorite holiday is the 4th of July. I'm getting so excited. I'm pumped.
Summer's
He's not.
okay. No, I'm just kidding.
You're a golfer.
I know. I love summer. I always say spring is my favorite here because I grew up in the Midwest where we didn't have so many pretty azaleas and rhodies. And I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, reminder, you can watch sunrise every day on KGW Plus. Have a great day. Goats? No.